Yeah, so it is very different, both in terms of the UK and also internationally. So previously in the UK, we have obviously pushed up the age at which people can buy tobacco. It used to be 16 and then it went higher. We also, of course, have introduced bans on smoking in indoor spaces. But nothing significant has happened, probably you would argue, for about 20 years. There have been a few policy introductions, but nothing as big as that. And this is the biggest development for 20 years. And it differs because the age at which people can buy tobacco will rise 1 year every year. So that means a whole generation will grow up, hopefully, not buying tobacco and not falling into that addiction. So the UK is in a good place to monitor the effect of this policy because we have regular, quite detailed data on smoking rates. So we know through surveys, or at least we can estimate through surveys, how many people are smoking in each area of the country. And we also have data that looks at smoking among young people as well. So we should be able to monitor it through the effect on smoking prevalence. As less people start smoking, we should see that prevalence drop, because unfortunately, people who do smoke currently will die at whatever age. Smokers die obviously younger than non-smokers. So we should see over time a reduction in smoking prevalence. It will take a bit longer to assess its effects on health, but eventually we should see less cases of COPD, lung cancer, and other diseases related to smoking. I think firstly, the difference between the New Zealand example and the UK is in the UK, this policy has got cross-party support. So it's been through numerous debates, both in the House of Commons and the Houses of Parliament. And although not everyone supported it, there was good support from across all of the major political parties. So, and don't forget that the idea for this policy was actually first originated under the Conservative government and then was taken up again under the new Labour government. So I don't think we'll see, maybe if there's a change of government in the UK in future, that shouldn't derail this policy in the UK like it did in New Zealand. I think we've also been quite good at answering and dealing with the objections from the tobacco industry this time round. We've provided answers to their objections, so that's different as well. I would recommend all countries give this a go. They might want to watch to see how our initial implementation goes, but there's only one country I know of that has similar policies, the Maldives. So we will be the first sort of large economy to try this, and I think other countries in the world will be watching carefully. Probably the biggest challenge is enforcement, because a law without enforcement is just a slogan. And if, for example, rogue retailers who want to sell tobacco that isn't in line with the law, or indeed if people want to import tobacco and import it on the black market, then we need to have the enforcement in place to deal with that. Otherwise, that will undermine the policy. The government have put more money into enforcement in the shape of trading standards teams in local authorities, but I would say we probably need more resource. If we don't take enforcement seriously, this won't work. I think one of the unintended consequences, if we're not careful, could be around vaping. So the UK and public health in the UK is very positive about people using vaping to help them quit smoking. The research evidence overwhelmingly shows that vaping is more effective as a stop smoking aid than patches or gum, especially for people who are very dependent, people who are maybe heavy smokers or have been smoking for many years. So I believe that people wanting to quit still need to have access to vapes as an option to help them quit. Not to stay on vapes long term, maybe, because it's not risk-free, but to help them quit. So we have to be careful that this legislation doesn't make it too difficult for people to switch from tobacco to vaping. There are some provisions in the law that will ban vaping in some public places and possibly ban flavours. I think we need to be careful about that. The most misunderstood point of this is it's about somehow punishing or criminalising existing smokers. This isn't. If you already smoke in the UK and you're able to buy cigarettes legally, at least, you won't be affected by this. It might encourage you to quit as you see more and more people not smoking and the levels of smoking coming down. But this is about stopping people from starting smoking in the first place. And that's got to be a good thing, because the tobacco industry rely on replacing those smokers who die with new, younger smokers. And so this will hopefully put a big dent in that sales policy.